2021 question 12 is asking about databases. It's saying, why is dog name and breed not a good primary key? What's a primary key? Well, you've probably seen these before. Like the most common primary key you know of is, let's say in a spreadsheet here, right? Here's different columns and rows or whatever. But see these numbers down on the left, these stuff that never changes. I don't think you can get Google Sheets to be like, no, that's now going to be 4. I mean, you can insert things, whatever, but there's always some sort of primary record of that is, cell 2, that is cell 3, and this is 4B, and this is 5C. So this stuff here on the left is needed. You can't just not have that. There has to be some sort of like agreement of this is the second one, right? So that's like probably the closest thing to a primary key that most people encounter. But when you're making your database, I suppose you can decide what the primary key is and where it should go. But the main thing here is, if you look, like you can't have 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, because you can't have duplicates in a primary key. All right. So no duplicates or potential duplicates. Problem here is Fido, there's a duplicate. So there's no way dog name could be a primary key. What about breed? Well, there's no one yet, but like you could have another poodle in there. So not a good primary key. Date of birth. Like, no, because dogs could be born on the same day. Maybe like if you put in the seconds, the milliseconds, the chances are of 2 dogs being born at the same millisecond. Yeah, maybe, but like it wouldn't be a great choice. And Y and N is like the worst choice because, yeah, there's no way they're gonna be unique. It's just there's literally 50-50 chance of being one or the other. So that means what you can say here, and I'll have a look at the mark. I was just I'll give you some examples here of like a primary key in your passport is this one down here. So like there'll be lots of O'Sullivans in Ireland, but there'll only be one XN00193. I hope this is a fake person they made up. I wonder, do they really use a real person, or do they combine a lot of images to make a person? I mean, they look kind of weird. Yeah. Oh, they're born on Star Wars Day, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And here's a dog license. So maybe this is what they should use. Do you know? The marketing scheme is saying the value of the primary key must be unique. That's what I said. Dog name, not good, because it already Fido exists twice, and breed, not good because it could exist. And they don't talk about the other ones, but you don't ask about the other ones. But we talked about them anyway. B, one owner can have many, many dogs. True. Explain how a foreign key, could be introduced to improve the design. All right. Okay. So to make this easier, I've just done this here in Excel. Well, look, Excel, Google Sheets, right? So it's saying, how could you make this better? And like you would split it up into 2 tables, but if you do that, you're going to need a foreign key kind of to keep them linked. So let me just bring you through the steps here, right? So let's say I want, instead of 1 table, and the 1 table was this one here, right? I'm going to bring this up and note that they have changed. There's a difference there. Look, they've added in an owner ID, which is good. That's like a really good primary key, owner ID. Right, so they've done good. They've added in a primary key this time. Okay, but let's say they want to split up into 2 tables. A foreign key might be needed here to kind of link the 2. I'll show you how. Step 1, we say this is the border. We're going to split the tables here. You split them any way you want, but we're going to split them this way. Great. Okay. So step 1, put them in 2 tables. Now that we have them in 2 tables, you can see that these here are all duplicates. So we don't need to have like that, because in a table, why would you have this exact same thing twice? And you see, why couldn't we do that before? Well, before it's because Joe Murphy here had both a Labrador and a Poodle, but now that we've just done a people table, Joe Murphy does not need to be there twice. Neither does Ada or James. So I've removed the duplicates here. That's much nicer. Okay. Next problem. This is not a great table because they have this lovely primary key here for owner ID. Lovely. But there is no kind of key at all for this. We're back to the duplicates problem. Dog name, breed, date of birth, really bad. They're not good keys. So this table needs a key. So what do they do? Well, what could we do? We could make one up. You could call it whatever you want. You could call it doggy ID, doggy number. I've called it dog ID here. Okay. So now I've got an owner ID one, which is just the last table with duplicates removed. And I've made up a new little bit here. Okay. Now, the problem is I've done good, but these are just not connected in any way. All right. I mean, that could be from a total different situation, different universe or country. Like there's no way of me connecting Joe Murphy to this Labrador, which is kind of important, right? Because so I need to have something to link the two tables, one column to rule them all, Lord of the Rings style. So what do I do here? I can add back in the owner ID. So I'll make this the primary key in this table, but this is the kind of distant primary key. Here it's called a foreign key. Okay, so it's a primary key, but from another table that links these two. Does that sort of make sense? So now I've got two separate tables. It's really nice and neat. I've added in a little key for this one, but I've got a foreign key here, and that is that's how it works. Let's look at the marking scheme to see what they said about that. A foreign key links two tables. That's what we did. It provides a relationship between the two tables. Yeah. In this case, the table is split into two separate tables. That's what we did there. One for the owners and one for the dogs. The owner ID could be used as a primary key. See it there, the owner ID at the front. There's a primary key. Could be used as a primary key in the owners table, and the foreign key, the FK, in the dogs table. So that's that. So that's pretty much it. And that is all.